So welcome to Basic Fishing Bites, and today we're going to talk to you all about crushed expander ground bait and when I use it and what times of the year that I use it. So we're in the winter time now, and crushed expander lends itself for this time of year. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you why I mix it, how I mix it, because there's a few different variations of ways of mixing it, and then why I use it at this time of year. So what we'll do is we'll go through the process of mixing it all together first, and it is so simple, which is what I like about it. So for a winter's session, a pint of crushed expander is ample. It's perfect. That would last me probably all session, that 1 pint of ground bait. Don't forget as well, once you add your water, it will double in size as well. So this is the way that I do it. So I've got a pint of crushed expander there, just tip that straight into my bucket, and then I've got a pint of water. Exactly the same measurements, 50-50, and just tip that straight in and then give it a good stir, and you think to yourself, oh no, I've ruined my ground bait. But honestly, you give that 20 minutes, half an hour, come back to it. So what I like to do is when I'm going fishing is I get straight to my peg, I'll do that straight away, and then I'll put it to one side, and I'll carry on setting up all my fishing tackle. So what I do is I've done that now, I've added the water to the ground bait, so it's 1 part ground bait, 1 part water. Put that to one side for half an hour, and then in true Blue Peter style, you come back to it in half an hour, and you break it all up, and it's a nice, fine, fluffy ground bait. It's took on all that water. It's got loads of water in it, so it's still heavy as well at the same time. But when you break it all up, I like to push it through the riddle as well. I've already done that, so literally all I'd do is I'd put it on the riddle. Once it's after that 20 minutes, half an hour, push it all through the riddle just to break it all up and get it all nice and fine. And that's what it comes out like, a nice fluffy but dead heavy as well at the same time. You can ball it up, which is perfect. Now that's how I sort of do my ground bait with crushed expander this time of year. And then also as well, what works really well sometimes, if you take, so what I like to do when I get to my fishing sessions, I'll have some of this on my side tray, some nice fluffy ground bait for feeding in my peg. What that's really good for is when you feed it in your pot, it creates like a cloud in the water surface to draw them fish into your peg. So that's why I have it nice and fluffy. And then also what I do is as well is I'll get another tub and get some more of the crushed expander in the tub, just like that, and then add some more water to it. And then what this does is it makes it nice and nice and wet, so it gets rid of that fluffy consistency and makes it nice and wet and stodgy. I'll just do some more water to that and show you how I have it. Put a bit more ground bait in that. A bit wet that now. There you go. And I get it like that. And getting like these little nice wet stodgy balls like that can be deadly in the winter time. And they're good for when you're trying to pin the fish more down on the bottom. You feed that stodgy ball of ground bait every time, after every fish, and it literally comes out your pot, sinks straight to the bottom into the feed zone to draw them fish down onto the bottom where your hook bait is. So obviously when I'm starting a session, I'll feed the fluffy ground bait to draw all them fish into your peg, and then when I feel like I've got them fish into my peg, I'll switch to that stodgy wet ground bait in little balls, pop that in, and it'll go straight to the bottom, and then it draws them. So obviously you've done that with a ground bait to draw them into your peg, and then when they're all in your peg, you use this ground bait to pin them down on the bottom. This type of ground bait, it's doing a job for you, them two jobs. That one's to draw the fish into your peg, and that one's to pin them down on the bottom. With this ground bait, there's no food content in it at all. It's just pure crushed expander, so it's nothing for the fish to come into your peg on and start feeding on like other ground baits. There's loads of other ground baits out there on the market. We use them more in the summertime. So in the summertime, for me, I switch to more like match method mix, Sonubait's match method, because that's got loads of food content, and it's got the crushed expander in it as well, just to bulk it out, but it's also got like loads of crushed pellets in it, proper pellets, so when you draw them fish into your peg in the summer and they come in, they've got loads of bait to feed on. But with this, we're just doing a job with it. But it's so simple to do, and you can make it into two effective ways. Again, take this into consideration. The fluffy ground baits are drawing the fish into your peg, because you know what it's like in the winter time, they sit out your swim, so you need to feed that to pull them into your peg. It makes like a cloud in the water column, and then when you've got them fish there into your peg, start feeding them little stodgy balls of ground bait, and that bait, you'll pot it out your pot and it'll go straight down to the bottom where your hook bait is, and you can nail them fish. So that's how you do your ground bait at this time of year. take that into consideration and put it into practice on the bank.
As a thank you for supporting this channel, we've teamed up with some top tackle brands to get discount codes for you guys to save money off your next tackle or bait purchase. Head over to catchmorecodes.com where we've listed the different codes and the companies who've supported us with them. It'll save you guys a considerable amount of money off your next tackle or bait purchase. Thanks for watching.